He is meant to be destroyed in the polls. He is meant to become a diversion himself. And even if I sit here and try to say, don't make it about Obama, he's going to make it about him. That's his job.
Well, they're coming after us. This is not a drill at this point. I think that when pigs fly and NWO flew and all this martial law talk and all this stuff, they are getting ready for the big move against us, I believe, in every way, shape, and form. Collapse the market, close the banks, martial law, swine flu's going to get it, take these poison killer shots. The list is endless, and they're coming after us now, and when they open the door and let all this stuff out of Pandora's box, I don't know what we're going to do. We have a right to live. We have a right to be left alone. That's all we want. We want to live in peace and freedom and be left alone, and they're just not having it. And they're stealing our money. They're stealing our houses, stealing our jobs, stealing our children's and grandchildren's wealth in the future. At some point, we have to stay up and not only say no, we have to stand up and say, we've had enough. And these arguments and these parties and these things that town hall meetings is great. Keep it up. Let it go. We have to do something or just lay down and die. I'm not going to lay down and die. I'm a Vietnam Era veteran of the United States Air Force. I'm not laying down and dying. I'll fight.
Stay there.
Do you understand how dark it is? How far down the line we are? How late it is?
Coming up in this hour, I'm going to break down the American Revolution, Part 2. Is it going to be peaceful or is it going to be bloody? The establishment has their way, it's going to be bloody. Also, I've known about this for about an hour and I forgot to get to it. Swine flu's worst case scenario, paranoia or preparedness. And Fox News quotes us like we're credible. So that's what I mean. This is starting to get Twilight Zone level. In addition to planning mass graves and crematoriums operating around the clock, governments are planning to implement martial law in response to a pandemic. Kurt Nimmo wrote for Infowars.com, which has been tracking disturbing developments in swine flu preparedness. Nemo pointed to a report in the Daily Telegraph that referred to the British government's emergency plans for mass graves, inflatable mortuaries, 24-hour cremations, and express funerals. Yeah, his stories point to the... They also point to the Rocky Mountain News, to the actual documents we got from the state of New York. I mean, we don't just come in here. I mean, Fox News itself is saying the troops are getting ready with Northcom to lock down U.S. cities and forcibly inoculate. Helga, who I've known for about 10 years, who lived in Austin, she's German, moved back to Germany. She called the office this morning and said that it was on mainline national German news radio that they're growing the swine flu in cancer viruses. And I'd seen some of that in reports of one company developing it over there. Ladies and gentlemen, I mean, it's insane. Now, again, if we expose this, that there's no law, you got to take the shot, that it's a fraud, and if they can't get their own first responders to take it, they're not going to get away with this in the fall. And then I'm going to be blamed for making up that the Army was going to be on the streets and making up they were going to inoculate us. I'm reporting what's on the news, but that's how the COINTELPRO operates. You know, I report, ABC News goes on and says a missile's been fired at the U.S. from Russia. I go on and say ABC News reported this. I don't know if it's true. Come back in 10 minutes later and say, okay, ABC News said it was a Scud on a trajectory, but nowhere near the U.S. And then it becomes, I made up a missile. Everybody knows on record that they're announcing all over TV. I've played here, and we could play here, clip after clip. Played one last week, Fox, CNN, ABC, all over the news. In fact, just Google it. Army to aid during swine flu, or Army to quarantine cities. You know, I saw this big attack piece on me saying Jones lies and says foreign troops involved in NLE-09. And then it shows no proof that I lied. The FEMA press release said foreign troops were involved in the drill. We covered it and said it's regular operating procedure. I've shot video of foreign troops in drills. See, the ad hominem or strawman attacks against me are all counting on you being ignorant. They're all counting on you not checking the facts I've laid out. I mean, look, he just went to Mexico, and they said they're going to bring in their North American Union through crises like the flu. That was in the 1997 Banff, Canada meeting. that we cover in my film Endgame, that they would use flu? Here it is, North American Union for flu reasons. I mean, it never ends, the covers they use. So my point is, they did try to order 14 million first responders to take smallpox shots. And remember, a bunch of them started dying, so they said no. And then Tommy Thompson wouldn't take it, the head of Health and Human Services. We can say no, but when we have a victory, the enemy then says, oh, where's the martial law? See, this is how they operate. Meanwhile, look at the tyranny. Look at the loss of freedom. Look at all the announcements of Northcom to be on the streets of America and real military checkpoints. Look, you're making some great points. I don't want to go to John, Matthew, Sean, Ronnie, and Cody quickly, but Archangel, caller from Pennsylvania, who couldn't get the Obama contest posters printed, he had to shop around. You were finishing up a point. You're right. The enemy is going to press and push and drill and hammer until they do get people to actually fight back. That's why they're having homeland security drills with the Army in Tennessee and Missouri and Texas. Notice the heartland. They're really worried about us, where militias attack the Army who are, quote, running flu checkpoints. So, see, they know there's going to be families that when the government tries to take their kids are just going to flip out and shoot the troops. It's guaranteed going to happen. I'm not saying it's a good thing. It's a bad thing. People try to not do that or avoid that. But what are you going to do when they're grabbing your kids? I mean, I broke the clergy response teams a year and a half before it got declassified. And what were they doing? Training you to take your kids, break up your families. I mean, they really plan on this. And see, New Orleans was a beta test. Now they want to do bigger beta tests. And then a bigger operation comes after that. But they are planning to get people into firefights with police and military. And I just tell the police and military, they're releasing the flu. They're staging this. There's no doubt. We've had a bunch of virologists and epidemiologists on. All of them but one say it's clearly manufactured. Nyman says, oh, no, it's, And I'm like, well, what about this? What about that? And he never has answers for it. He's saying it's this big, doom, huge thing, and they're having their flu season in the other hemisphere, and less than 2,000 people died, when normally it's hundreds of thousands. I mean, look, I'm hoping it's all just hype to get you to take vaccines, and then God knows what's in those. What's your take on all this, Archangel?
I believe that part of it is a false flag, and part of it is just to force people to take the shots. We definitely know that the shots...
Exactly, to set the precedent... To set the precedent to get people to take the shots. Go ahead.
Now, they're also, look, they're taking our rights and freedoms every day. So they're hitting us on all fronts. Okay, they're going to do this all at one time, like they're ramping it up. I'd say August, September, the beginning of October at the first, all this is going to come to pass, what they want to do to us. And look, we have to put aside our partisan differences, as you say, as Americans of all races and creeds and color. We must make this stand together now. We are fighting for our lives. We are fighting for our children. We are fighting for our country. We are fighting for our very immortal souls against evil men and women in power, in government, in the corporate, structures, in Baxter Pharmaceuticals, and in all these places. We have to make this stand now. We have to make it united. We all can't be Alex Jones. We all can't be Archangel. But what we can be is the best men and women we can be and do our part in this fight to save ourselves and our country. We must do it now. I keep telling people, this is not a drill. If we wait, what will happen if we wait? They will take everything we have. Are you going to wait till they knock at your door? We want your guns. Are you going to wait till they knock at the door? Take this shot. No, we must tell them no. We must vehemently oppose them. And
I agree. In fact, I think I should make a one sheet with like 10 bullet points in big black ink, but then people won't really pay attention to it. Maybe it goes with a bigger poster of one image saying, read this with an arrow below it, pointing to the next piece of paper you put under it that gives like 10 bullet points about the swine flu vaccine. And we should have a campaign to get people to not take the shot. Archangel, keep up the great work, and God bless you, sir.
Thank you, too, sir.
Alex Jones here with a question. What does humidity mean to you? Most people think of hot and sticky summer days, but many people are beginning to realize that humidity can be a valuable source of pure drinking water. That's why I'd like you to visit acolablue.com. Acola Blue is a state-of-the-art atmospheric water generator producing purified drinking water from the humidity in the air using reverse osmosis and a 5-stage carbon and UV light filtration system, which produces great tasting water at an unbeatable price. Finally, drinking water that you control. I use one every day. Say goodbye to expensive water delivery services and storing 5-gallon bottles of water in your home. The Ecola Blue 28 is shipped right to your home, ready to make close to 7 gallons a day, right out of the box. They have a 30-day money-back guarantee.
Call Ecola Blue right now at 1-800-691-6043. That's 1-800-691-6043. Or visit Ecola Blue at ECOLOBLUE.com today.